FA Nation. Hi, I'm Brandon Marianne Lee. I am here with the Howard Bender, who is just recently out of Twitter jail because he sends so many tweets answering all of your questions that he always gets put in Twitter jail because they think he's spam. Howard, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm yelling at somebody on Facebook right now. It's that standard. You can't do Twitter, so they jump all over you on Facebook, and it's like, okay, they're like, can you rank these three guys? Okay, yeah, I did. Well, what's your reasoning for ranking this guy over this guy? And I give a reason. And then he's coming back at me with like this huge debate. I'm like, I don't give a crap who's on your team, dude. You start whoever you want. It's your team. You asked, I answered. I don't give a shit. I don't mean to sound like a dick about it here, but I'm not into this for a debate here. You ask, I answer, that's all. If you want to have a discussion about it, now's not the time to do it, and this is not the forum for it.
And Twitter was on fire today. I tweeted out, unpopular opinion, but if there's a consolation bracket, then everyone can pick up players. If I'm still playing, then I'm still making moves. I don't blame me because you're in a bad fab situation. Don't want to do that? Then don't have a consolation bracket. And so far, 110 responses, 577 likes. Now, what's interesting is that one of the responses was like, well, most people agree. This is just, you shouldn't be doing it. But it's interesting because almost all of the responses are like, yes, thank you. I think analysts think this and assume everyone else thinks this, but everyone else thinks if there's a matchup, I'm going to play. Now, you are a commissioner in 2 leagues that I'm in, and we do not have a consolation bracket. End of season, you're done, period. And you know what? That's great. I don't have a problem with that. Or announce it at the beginning. ESPN supposedly does not let you have a league without a consolation bracket. Fine. So then say, hey, we're not going to have you do waivers, or maybe don't do waivers, but you can still do free agency switch outs because, you know, if someone goes down, I think that'd probably be fair, but whatever it may be, but decide it ahead of time. But to whine like a little baby child because you didn't take care of your bench, but you're in the playoffs and someone else took your guy. I just feel like, what's the difference between now and week 5? Like, get it together. You took my guy in week 5, and that's why I'm not in the playoffs. Like, I still want to compete. I don't know. I just feel like it's fascinating because it definitely got some blood boiling. Let's put it that way.
It did. Listen, I'm on the opposite side of this argument as you. I think it's stupid. I think a consolation bracket is a joke. If you have a penalty award, like if you finish dead last in the league and and that either – you have like a lame trophy or you have to pay somebody else's entrance fee, whatever the case may be, then fine, then that's legitimate. But if you're just out of it and there is no reason to compete in this consolation bracket, there is no prize, there is no incentive for it, then let the people who are playing the big boy game and who are actually in the playoffs, who can win a trophy, win the bragging rights, win a cash prize, whatever it may be, stop screwing around with their game here and just go crawl into a hole somewhere, suck your thumb.
Don't have a consolation bracket.
Well, again, if ESPN, Brandon, if ESPN doesn't let you not do the consolation bracket, then that's one thing. Now, yes, is it up to the commissioners to sit here and say, listen, this is the rule, don't do it? Yes, it's up to the commissioner. But you've got so many people who do so many leagues who don't sit there and put in like the detailed constitution of the rules. They just go with the default settings on the website. Like that's the argument there.
But I think that's the problem. I think we assume a lot of people play in a lot of leagues, and I don't think a lot of people do. I think most people are playing in maybe 5. I think that the idea that like everyone at home is, and for them, if they don't play in the consolation bracket, then they're not playing. And my thing is, if there's a matchup, I don't want to lose it.
Go put $5 in DraftKings. Like,
I agree. But I also feel like if you can't figure out how to lock teams or to not have a consolation bracket, then that's the commission's fault.
Well, you know what? It's like the unwritten rules of baseball. If a guy beans your guy, you're going to go back. Your pitcher's going to go, and you're going to bean him. It's the unwritten rule of baseball. This should be the unwritten rules of fantasy football, fantasy sports, whatever the case may be. If you're not playing for the big prize, go cry yourself to sleep on your pillow, and you're gone. You're out. But sitting there and, like, screwing up somebody else's thing, especially, and let's not listen, why? Because there are assholes out there who are in the playoffs who go tell people who are in the consolation bracket, well, dude, you should go compete. You should go pick up these guys because they know that person has a higher waiver priority than this guy's opponent in the playoffs, which is,
again. Can you do that in week 5? I mean, this is what I don't
You can
understand.
do that in week 5, but in week 5, nobody's eliminated.
Right, but I mean, sometimes it depends on the bench
Who's
length.
eliminated? Nobody's eliminated. You could be 0-5. You could be 0-5 and still go on a huge run, make a couple of trades, win some games, and squeeze into the playoffs here. That's week 5. We're talking week 15.
I just think there's some pivotal waiver wire pickups that you could not get because of that. I think there's a lot of different ways to lose. I just think that why do you get to have an easier ride when you're in the playoffs as opposed to playing with everybody else?
Because that's your reward for making it into the playoffs. Why shouldn't you get a little bit of a reward and have it be an easier ride? I mean, again,
reward is big in the playoffs.
If I'm going to the championship, listen, if I'm going to the championship and I just lost, because let's face it, weeks 13 and week 14 have been a nightmare. If you lose Kareem Hunt, do you want the guy who you're playing against to turn around to some 0-10?
You lost Kareem Hunt weeks ago. You should. Here's my whole point. There is not one waiver wire.
You lost for week 13 weeks ago.
That is weeks ago. It's
2 weeks ago. That was like the final game of the regular season. Let me tell you, if you are competing, if that's the first round of your playoffs, because week 13 for a lot of leagues, especially ESPN, that does 2 weeks for the playoffs, if that's week 13, that's your first week of the playoffs, you lose Kareem Hunt, but the guy, who you're playing turns around to somebody who's out of it, who has nothing to play for, but has higher waiver priority than you, steals Spencer Ware or steals Damian Williams. That's bullshit, man. Why should that happen?
There's not one pickup this week that you didn't know that you should already have on your bench by now.
Sure.
Not one. There's not one that, and here's the thing. If you lose because you didn't have Damian Williams, that's your fault because everyone knew about Damian Williams in week 13. It's now week 15 and beginning of week 13, by the way. It was the beginning of the week that we found out about Kareem Hunt. So you actually could even put in waivers for Spencer Ware in week 13. So the point is you had numerous weeks. Melvin Gordon's been out for a long time. Everyone knew that Austin Eckler was there. We all knew that he got hurt.
Right.
We all knew that he was sharing that backfield.
Okay, all right. I'll give you one. I'll give you one right here, right now. Okay, and let's say that you're sitting there with Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, and he's been your quarterback all season long. And guess what? Tonight, Patrick Mahomes breaks his arm, and he's gone and he's done. And you have to go and and somehow your team still wins. You're going to the championship. You can win $1,500 because you win the championship game, and everybody else who's out of it starts stealing whatever schlock quarterback might still be sitting there on the waiver wire. You think a guy who's in the consolation bracket should get first crack at a bunch of quarterbacks when you, who are in the championship game, just lost Patrick Mahomes, the pony you've been riding the entire season long? That's bullshit.
I think if you know that you have a consolation bracket, you know that everyone is up for waivers. I don't understand. Like, again, if you're using default settings, you're your own worst enemy. Sorry. I don't have any sympathy for people in default settings. I just don't. Maybe you should also get your team auto-drafted. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe this is where we're at right now.
See, that, you're just comparing apples and oranges. You can't say week 5 is the same thing as week 13, and you can't say that you might as well just auto-draft it anyway. I mean, that's not an argument.
Default settings are for losers. If you want to say consolation brackets are for losers, I say default settings are for losers. If you don't have it together, if you don't want to play consolation brackets, or you don't want to lock the teams, you got to do this stuff ahead of time. You can't just decide that everyone should just not do things. It's weird. Also, don't have someone have a matchup and them not be able to put in someone. I think it's one thing for waivers. Free agency is ridiculous. If you didn't do waivers and you're in the championship game, you don't deserve it.
I mean, if you didn't do waivers, I'm talking about people having better waiver priority than you. A guy doesn't make a move for 5 weeks.
You shouldn't be able to pick anyone up. My point is, if you didn't put in for waivers and someone's out on free agency, someone can pick someone up.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. We just, you know what? We totally disagree on this point.
You gotta get your questions, but we do disagree. But we're gonna hear about you and your consolation brackets or your playoff brackets, whatever it is.
I don't give a shit about your consolation brackets, people. I'm here for championships. I'm here for championships. I'm not here for 8th place.
I am. I'm here for whatever you need, everybody. Thank you. All right, full point PPR. We got Allen Robinson or Courtland Sutton.
I think I'm going to go A-Rob here, actually. I know that Denzel Ward was declared out still because of the concussion.
Yeah.
I still don't hate that Cleveland secondary. I really don't. And I think with Case Keenum,
they allow a lot of points. They allow a lot of
better off. What's that?
A lot of fantasy points. They're better in real football than fantasy football. Fantasy football, they give up a lot of fantasy points. They're in the top 10. But
is Courtland Sutton your favorite receiver there over in Denver?
Yes.
You think he's the number one guy?
I think DaeSean Hamilton's going to be big too. Listen, both of those teams are vying for a very long shot, very, very long shot, but they're still in playoff contention. But this would put one of them away. It's in Denver. Courtland Sutton is the main guy. It's just DaeSean Hamilton's going to be in the slot, so I like him there too. But I think both teams are going to fight really hard. I think A-Rob, though, is in a situation where they're also fighting really hard. They're at home in Chicago. You like that. So I like both guys. I just want to make that clear. I just think that we think that Cleveland is. I think we mix up as an industry Cleveland's like real football defense, which is good, and their fantasy football defense, which is actually giving up a lot of fantasy points. But so I think A-Rob is probably the one I'm going to go with here, just because I think the Packers are a disaster zone, and I think Cleveland is not. But and by the way, I don't care what you do with Mike McCarthy, you guys. You're a disaster zone.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't show anything. They didn't show anything really.
So I'm gonna go with A-Rob too. I don't want people to think that at least I'm not completely out on Sutton. I know he had a bad game last week. Then people really expected something from him, but I think this will be that week.
Well, he didn't even see the targets. Like Tim Patrick and DaeSean Hamilton were the two target leaders in there. I think that's really the question. Not so much having a bad game, just didn't even get the looks.
Yeah, but I think they game plan for that, and Keenum's really conservative. If he's like, if he thinks that it's not there for Sutton, he's not going to force it.
Oh, not anymore. They told him, they said, stop being so conservative, Case. We want you to take some shots downfield now.
I know, but that's really sad.
God help him. God help him.
Yeah, so, I think that was the explanation, but yes, certainly it was scary, but I think that what they did was that they showed that they have other weapons so that further down the season, Sutton's not going to be completely plastered with defenders, right? So instead, they kind of had to mix it up because now they're like, oh, we could get roasted by Hamilton, which is true. Full point PPR. And by the way, they loved DaeSean Hamilton the whole preseason in Denver. There was a lot of talk about him. It didn't really matriculate into the regular season, but certainly it wasn't a huge surprise by any means. Full point PPR, Rudolph, Vernon Davis, Uzomah Herndon.
Yeah, I think I'd go Herndon here. I know Uzama's got the nicest matchup, but this dude's just not seeing targets. He's not getting like the usual Cincinnati tight end workload. He does a lot of block. He sees 80% of the snaps, and he's doing so much blocking there that there's not really much to have from him. Herndon's at least getting some red zone looks. He's got a couple of touchdowns on the year. Houston's stinky against the tight end. I don't know. I kind of like Vernon Davis because
that was the one I would pick. But yeah,
like Josh Doxson's not playing, but then it's like I guess with Herndon it's kind of funny. It's like okay, he's got Sam Darnold throwing to him. Who's throwing Vernon Davis is Josh Johnson, who's on the other end of the age spectrum as Sam Darnold. So it's like who do you trust more in that? Those are the two guys that I would go with. I'd probably go Herndon only just for the connection that him and Darnold might have. But, I could easily go Vernon Davis. Do you like VD?
I do like VD. Yeah, you know me. Yeah, I do. The 2 weeks prior to last week, where he did have a good game last week, he did, have 4 catches for 88 yards and a touchdown, if you combine those 2 games. This is the 4th starting quarterback for Washington in 4 weeks, so that's never a good thing.
But do you really call Mark Sanchez a starting quarterback anymore?
That's what Washington called him, so I guess I'll follow their lead.
Weird. So weird.
But I think that could actually play in his favor. I think he's the short distance guy. Last week, obviously, the 31 yards, 2-point conversion, caught all 4 of his targets. We like that. But the best matchup against the Jags is for the tight end, despite Derrick Henry roasting them last week.
Yeah.
Even with Derrick Henry roasting them last week, they're still top 10 in defending the running back. So I think it's going to be Adrian Peterson and Vernon Davis all day, every day. But I think Herndon and the PPR floor he presents, I think is pretty nice too. So full point PPR, we do James White, Josh Adams, Chris Thompson.
James White, Josh Adams, Chris Thompson.
Would you just throw yourself on a spear?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably throw myself into walk my fat ass into oncoming traffic. I could do that.
This is clearly for a consolation bracket.
Yeah, right. Clearly.
Just kidding, Christian.
I'd probably go Josh Adams here, only because Nick Foles. They have been running the ball more. I can't get behind Chris Thompson. I don't know what he's doing anymore right now, and it's just bleh. What?
Yeah, I agree with you. I said, who is Chris Thompson? We don't know. We don't know anymore. We just don't. I agree with you. I think it's Josh Adams and full point PPR flex. Godwin, Reynolds, or White or Thompson.
Oh, Jesus. Another consolation game, huh? I think I'd go with White.
Our constant thing today. Yeah, I think I'd go White.
Yeah, I don't like any of these options very much. Yeah, like when you deal with
City alarms back here. Yeah, I don't either. I think James White. We're just gonna hope that they do something. I mean, it is Pittsburgh. It's not a good matchup, but James White's more of a pass catcher than anything else. And Devlin's gonna get all the touchdowns, so it doesn't matter.
All the touchdowns, every single one of them.
Would you go Cam Newton or Josh Allen? This is where we are in life.
Yeah, I mean, I know, right?
Josh Allen's been a stud. Guys, last week I was all on the Josh Allen train. Everyone's like, this is insane. But, real football, again, kind of like Cleveland. Real football versus fantasy football are two different things sometimes, and you have to know that. I don't know. I think it's hard for me to sit Cam Newton against New Orleans in a primetime game. Because they have to score points, and I feel like he'll run it at a touchdown at least. Now, I also feel like Allen's going to do well. And the Lions defense is a little bit better than we think, especially now that they got, what's his name back? My brain is hurting. The linebacker. Anyway, the Lions defense, I don't know. They're pretty even to me, though, which is really sad. How do you feel about this?
I mean, I would probably... I'd go with Josh Allen. Yeah, I would. I mean,
game rushing.
Listen, the dude's averaging over 100 yards per game in the last 3 weeks. Averaging, and Detroit just lost Ziggy Ansah also. So Ziggy Ansah's on. He's sitting there on IR right now. Damon Harrison's good at plugging up the middle. But I think that Josh Allen can actually just kind of take off and do his thing in this matchup here as well. I don't believe Cam's shoulder's hurt. He's hurt, and but he's been okay. He's been pretty good. I think the Saints defense is getting sold a little short here. And my biggest issue with it is the fact that he doesn't have the velocity or the distance on his shoulder. B, I think that the fact that it does have an issue with velocity is also affecting the timing patterns. And I think that's everybody's on Curtis Samuel here this week. Everyone loves Curtis Samuel. I'm like, how is Cam going to get Curtis Samuel the ball? How is he going to really zip that ball in there and have him lead the receiver? So I kind of feel like I would just go with Allen, because I know that Allen's going to run the ball. I know he's going to poach a touchdown in there. Is he going to throw for one? It'd be nice.
Would be.
But there you go.
But, you can't ask for everything. I agree with you, especially if you have some sort of rushing bonus. That would be nice. Damian Williams or Justin Jackson. The guys that are going to determine everyone's playoff chances. Anyway. That's
how ridiculous is that? That it's So I got, here's why I got thrown in Twitter jail. I was trying to explain this to Justin Fensterman on Sirius XM today. I was like, listen, they think I'm a spam bot. And he's like, well, why? You're giving fantasy football advice. I said, because all they're doing is they're tracking my tweets and they're figuring out the words that I'm using. And because all we're talking about are Justin Jackson, Damian Williams, Jeff Wilson, and Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers. Those are 5 names I've been talking about for the last 24 hours straight on Twitter. And so the little bots that go over there, he's same name. I mean, it's crazy that it's this whole Justin Jackson, Damian Williams situation here. For the record, I say Justin Jackson, Melvin Gordon's going to be inactive. I think he didn't have a heavy workload on Sunday. I think he's going to be the guy you want.
Yeah, and FYI, everybody, do you want to do the inactives real quick? I mean, they're all what we thought they were, but...
Well, fine. I got to put on my smart glasses again here, Brandon. Everybody's got to deal with the glare then. Sorry. I tore my contact lens last night, too.
No. You only have one contact?
Well, no. I mean, one of my contacts. I can't wear one without the other.
Oh, but last night, don't you have other ones? No?
No, that was my last pair on this batch.
Oh, no.
I didn't order enough. I didn't order more. I'm an idiot. I don't see the inactive.
I have dailies, so I have to. I'm a gazillion of them. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to see anything.
Matt Sells, you're a producer today. Can you give me the inactives and then go ask some idiot on Fantasy Alarm why they're not posted over there?
Sure. You want them in your ear or over the air?
No, give them over the air, dude. Come on, share it with the world, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Sells. Matt Sells.
So we've got Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler, Chris Landrum, Cole Toner, Sean Culkin, Dylan Cantrell, and Brandon Mebane for the Chargers. And the Chiefs, again, not anybody of surprise, with Sammy Watkins, Spencer Ware, Cam Irving, Garrick Dieter, Khalil McKenzie, Dion Yelder, and a linebacker I can't even begin to pronounce the name.
I didn't hear Kelvin Benjamin's name there.
Well, that's true. Oh, and Eric Berry is not inactive, so I guess that's of note.
Kelvin Benjamin, Brandon. Sleeper extraordinaire.
Yeah, for sure. Our first question was, who should we not play in the showdown with Eric Berry back? It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I don't really, Eric Berry's playing a limited number of snaps.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna have a little bit of a factor there. I think, I don't think there's gonna be enough that you're gonna be like, oh my God, I gotta sit Keenan Allen. Eric Berry's back.
What?
Like that. Yeah, exactly. It's so funny too, because we train people to study the offensive lines and all the defensive injuries and stuff like that. So then all of a sudden, a name pops up like Eric Berry, and everybody's like, oh my God, he's gonna sit all your Chargers receivers.
Yeah, he can't cover them all. I also think he's getting worked in. I don't think. Let's see what Eric Berry can do here. Because here's the problem: Kansas City Chiefs defense can't do anything. He's not going to be able to fix the whole thing. I don't see that as happening. So that's why it doesn't matter to me. It's not because I am ignorant and I don't know who he is. Obviously, I do. It just doesn't matter to me because I don't think he can cover all these people. And certainly not the Chargers. The Chargers, the best football team that no one is watching, and nothing was more evident of that than Stephen A. Smith not watching him. Which everyone, if you go into Twitter, please just put... You're going to see that Hunter Henry is trending. You're going to see Derek Johnson's trending. You're going to see a lot of weird stuff. Watch the video. Get back to me. It's hilarious. Poor
Stephen A. Smith. Listen, I don't love Stephen A. Smith by any stretch of the imagination, but this dude's sitting here in the foxhole taking grenades left and right because his moron schmuck producers screwed the whole thing up. And and he wasn't prepped properly for the show. They weren't set up properly. I mean, it was just that's ESPN. Everybody, let's give it up for ESPN. Yeah.
Because here's the deal. I mean, we don't we are just totally riffing. We don't have anything in front of us that producers give us or anything like that because we're gritty. We're doing it. And we're in the trenches. Absolutely. But Stephen A. Smith has a very long storied career, and so he's no longer in the trenches. And you can't watch every single game all the time. But I think it is there's a kernel of truth to this that unfortunately no one watches the Chargers. So they don't have fans. Literally, they don't have fans because they left San Diego, which he also said they were in San Diego still. But the point is, I say San Diego all the time because they should be. They should be. But anyway, the point is that it's just funny. So we're talking about the Chargers and the game, and it just made me laugh. I'm leaning towards starting Rivers in both my leagues. Rivers versus Luck in one, Rivers, Luck, or Ryan in the other. Is this correct? I think you have to start Rivers because he's playing Kansas City and he has to score points. Any other thoughts on that? And by the way, I don't think Justin Jackson's as good as Melvin Gordon. So I know that may sound controversial, but yeah, no.
No, I mean, I like it. I think a lot of people are just nervous about Phillip Rivers' history in Kansas City at Arrowhead. The numbers aren't very good. They're not disgusting. I mean, you're not looking at like 2 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. There's nothing eye-popping really about the numbers there. But I mean, yeah, I love this matchup for him. I would use him over Luck. And who was the other one that you were asking him? The third
Matt
one?
Ryan.
Matt Ryan, yeah. I know Matty Ice sitting at home, against Arizona. If you just throw on the other side of Patrick Peterson, you can be successful. But I'd take Phillip Rivers here. Chargers, like you just said, Brett, they're the quietest 10-3 team in football
Ever.
right now. They've won 9 out of their last 10. They're getting zero respect. I think the NFL has kind of got it in for them anyway, because the franchise is already losing money. It's been losing money since they moved to Los Angeles. So they actually talked about next year moving them back down to San Diego.
They should.
Well, yeah, I agree.
I don't even know how it's debated. I think the NFL should actually intervene and get them back to San Diego so they have fans again. It's criminal because they're doing such a good job and no one's watching them. It's really sad. It's like if the tree falls in the forest, but no one's there to hear it. Does it fall? Does it make a sound?
Does it make a sound? Very existential of you.
I'm doing a lot of deep thoughts today, Howard.
Do you want to do like a Waiting for Godot reading right now? Should we just do that instead?
Probably. We should wear all black and a beret. Justin Jackson or Lamar Miller, half-point PPR.
I love Lamar Miller. I don't know how. I don't get. And I said this today on the show too. I don't get why we're so like hell-bent on using Damian Williams and Justin Jackson,
crazy,
and Gus Edwards and Kenneth Dixon over proven talent. Like, what is it? Listen, I said I get it. I've crapped on Lamar Miller for years, but you cannot deny that he is on a team right now that has shifted to a run-first mentality. Okay, he's got 3 or 4 100-yard efforts in his last 7 games, 4 touchdowns in that time span as well. Like, why are we crapping on Lamar Miller so much? That I don't get that. I would start him. Not to mention the Jets are giving up like 180 rushing yards per game on the ground over the last 3 weeks.
It's pretty crazy. I think people are obsessed. I think this is also where this like consolation bracket pickup thing came in because everyone's like on fire because this is all they wanted, right? And my thing is that I'm like, it's hard for me to believe that you don't have a better bench or like people that are awesome there. I mean, you could have picked up Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones. There are a lot of like Lamar Miller was like a late draft pick. You could have these dudes already on your team and not need Justin Jackson, Damian Williams, whatever else. Exactly. Go with the guys we know. Jacksonville or Chicago defense?
I got to go with the Chicago defense. I know it's the Packers, and maybe they're going to give up some points to them. Probably not a lot of points, but some. Mm-hmm. Jacksonville defense, I got burned by that last week. I was like, oh, look at that. They shut out the Colts. I'm so smart to just be using the Jags defense. And then Derrick Henry puts up a 230 spot with 4 touchdowns on him the next week.
Well, and you know who's capable of doing that? Adrian Peterson.
Peterson, master of the 99-yard touchdown run.
Master of it, and then he'll get 8 more yards. But yes, it can happen. Rivers or Russell Wilson. By the way, I tweeted this the other day and I got a lot of brushback, but I was like, listen, if you're one of those people that thinks that Russell Wilson sucks, then you only watch the red zone and primetime games because obviously you have no idea what you're talking about. Or you think that the Rams are backsliding. The Rams had a bad game against the best defense in the National Football League. And Seattle had another tough defense that they were playing against, and they still won. Stop it. You're crazy town. However, this week, okay, so let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen here with Russell Wilson, and then. But here's the deal: I don't even care. I think I'd go Rivers either way. We can talk about. I think Russell Wilson's great, but Rivers has to score points against Patrick Mahomes. It is a divisional game. The playoffs are on the line. Winning the division is on the line here. I just don't know how you beat that circumstance. And Rivers is like Wilson, doing great.
100% agree with you. 100%. To me, it's Rivers over Wilson here. But yeah, listen, just like I've been pounding the Chris Carson drum all season long, and people are like ignoring that dude. They're like ignoring Chris Carson and Lamar Miller so they can start Damian Williams and Justin Jackson. Russell Wilson, the last time he played the 49ers 2 weeks ago, he threw for 4 touchdowns. I mean, it was 195 yards, so there wasn't much yardage there, but it was 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns. Listen, they're both great plays. I'm going Rivers tonight.
Agreed.
But they're both great plays. And guys, Russell Wilson had 1 down game and still won, and still actually showed that he's really great on a lot of plays.
So funny how we're so quick to like jump off the wagon. Like here, it's like the flavor of the
hate on Jared Goff is out of control right now.
You know that, right? And I love him this week. He's going to destroy the Eagles secondary. You know that meme that everybody does, the guy who's like with his girlfriend and they're walking in one direction. Yeah, there's the hot girl coming over here.
Like so exactly the same, but yeah, that's
the guy is fantasy football owner. Okay, the hot girl in the front here is like Justin Jackson or David, your flavor of the week, and then the girlfriend next to him is like Lamar Miller, Chris Carson, the guys who did it for you all season long, who now all of a sudden you're abandoning at the last minute here for what? For what?
Yeah, no, it's bad. Okay, so supposedly I keep kind of freezing a little bit. I'm sorry, everybody. We're having terrible weather here. That might be part of it. New York City. Bummer. Constellation
I just thought you were doing the robot.
Well, I'm a good dancer. Okay, constellation bracket is only good if you're giving the winner the number 1 pick next year. Agreed. Default settings suck. Yeah, again, don't have it. I think that just solves all your problems. Is Conley too sneaky of a single entry GPP play tonight? No, I think Conley's a great play myself.
I agree. I don't know what we're going to expect from Tyreek Hill tonight. I mean,
I don't know.
Limited, heel's still bothering him. Yeah, you get a cortisone shot. Maybe, you do well for the first half. I don't know. But yeah, I like Conley as a nice little sneaky play.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Josh Adams, Jalen Samuels, or Damian Williams?
Josh Adams, Jalen Samuels, or Damian Williams?
Typical question.
I guess I'll go. Was it PPR standard? Did they say? I think I'll just go Damian Williams. I'll take the lead running back in tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, when in doubt, go with the higher over-under.
Yeah, there you go.
And to me, these are all high over-unders, though, because obviously Pittsburgh and Patriots here, but nothing beats 53.5, which is tonight's game. So
because you got the question of whether or not Connor's going to be back, and if Connor's going to be back, what kind of workload is he going to get? Mm-hmm. So that right off the bat there. And then you can look at the Eagles game and be like, well, the Rams are going to go up 236-0. So then why are they going to run the ball?
Yeah, and it's Nick Foles. We didn't even talk about that, but it's bad news.
Whoa. Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles. Please address him properly.
No, listen. When called upon, the dude is out of control. Agreed. But, this is not – he doesn't have to do anything because they're out of contention. It's just sad. Okay. Kenny Golladay, Kenneth Dixon, or Elijah McGuire?
Oof. Kenny Golladay, Kenneth Dixon, Elijah McGuire. Please tell me there was a fourth one in there.
No, but I would go McGuire out of the 3.
Yeah, I would just for the touches that he's gonna see.
Pretty bad. He got 17 carries. Also caught, I think it was 3 passes last week. If someone's gonna get 20 touches in a game, they have to be in your fantasy lineup, in my opinion. Chubb and Cohen over White and McGuire in PPR, right?
Chubb and Cohen over White and McGuire.
Yes, that's good stuff right there. Yes. Jackson, Williams, or Boyd. PPR need 2. Perfect.
Just go with the running backs. Go Jackson and Williams.
Sure. Rudolph over Davis?
I don't know. You got a coin to flip, Brandon?
Right. Guys, Kyle Rudolph, what a disappointment.
It's really been a disappointment. Now, I think that Kirk Cousins has a great game this week. I just don't necessarily know if Kyle Rudolph is going to be the beneficiary of it here. I think it's going to be much more Diggs and Thielen. But
yeah, I agree. I think I might go Davis.
Yeah, I'd probably go Davis too. You got to figure Josh Johnson's going to have to see. Look, you just did the Cam Newton right there. He's no longer dabbing anymore. He's doing the. That's the new dab.
I just feel like if you want a solid 5 points in a PPR format, Rudolph's your guy. But if you're expecting more, I don't know.
You like the upside of VD, I understand.
Yeah, I do. Did you guys cover how successful you think Justin Jackson will be in Gordon and Eckler's absence? I mean, we think he's going to be fine. He plays for a good team in a game with a high over/under. I mean, there is a certain level of great. If you have Nick Chubb, I'm not sitting Nick Chubb. I'm not sitting Lamar Miller. I'm not sitting Chris Carson. I'm not sitting Aaron Jones.
Ooh, I would actually. There you go. I'll draw the line there.
The Bears.
I'll start.
He was the last one I mentioned. Okay.
Right?
I'd be fine with that.
I'll say Jackson over Jones in that matchup. Yeah.
Because that matchup's bad. So that's debatable. But that's where we're at, people. It has to be against the Bears. You have to be proven, but against the Bears for us to not play you, is what I'm saying. That's pretty dire. So I agree with you. Need a flex. Lamar Miller, Mark Ingram, Zay Jones, Cortland Sutton, or Jalen Richard, and I guess only one, and it doesn't say PPR or not. Okay, so let's try it again. We're going to go Lamar Miller here, because that was the best name out of everyone by far. So I don't know why I was going to repeat the question. It's Lamar Miller. Would you go Aaron Jones or Damian Williams PPR?
I'd go Damian Williams.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't love it, but I mean...
To me, they're very even, but...
Jamal Williams made that start last week that really just kind of made everybody go, what the hell's going on with the Packers right now? Like, I mean, seriously, the Packers.
Something's wrong with Aaron Jones. Emotionally, emotionally, there's some issue because there's no other reason why Jamal Williams keeps popping up in our lives and why Mike McCarthy didn't start him for so long. I don't know what it is. I'm not an investigative journalist. I have no idea, but nothing else makes sense to me. Or someone was abducted by aliens, but literally that's the only thing I would believe. At this point, that's it. Butker or Bagley? I'd go Butker. I know you don't do kicker questions.
I'll do Bagley.
Okay. Would you like to do Matt Ryan or Deshaun Watson?
Well, I think I go Matt Ryan here. There's supposed to be a lot of rain in your neck of the woods there, Brandon, over the weekend here. So I think I would sit Watson in this matchup.
Yeah. And it's funny because I had to think to myself, I was like, which neck of the woods? Because both Saturday games are in New York or Denver. So I was like, I kind of love my woods. Okay, Amari Cooper or Dalvin Cook, non-PPR? I think I still go Cooper.
Yeah, I feel like you got to go Cooper here. Like
upside. Dalvin Cook is a higher floor probably. Although Cooper's floor has been great since going to Dallas. So maybe I'm just talking out of my but
I didn't know it spoke.
Yeah, mine does. Amari Cooper, so hard to sit.
Yeah, you can't sit Cooper. Can't sit Cooper. You gotta go with him. Listen, I think Dalvin Cook is a nice play. But again, his usage hasn't been fantastic. And don't be fooled by last week's touchdown. Last week's touchdown against Seattle. I mean, Seattle just kind of.
He's been touchdown dependent since coming back. He has some issues.
Yeah, I don't. I think that for the matchup here, I think we're going to be looking at a lot more passing. Even though you need to run on Miami, I still think Kirk Cousins. This is one of those games, right, Brandon? I mean, this is at least my take on it. And I'm curious as to yours. Because I think that this is the perfect game. Kirk Cousins has been getting just destroyed in the media for the most part, for a lot of the part of the season. But in this past week, putting up that stinker of a game against Seattle, and everybody's like, he's not worth the $84 million guaranteed. It was a huge mistake. They're better off with Case Keenum. This matchup against Miami with no Xavier Howard in the secondary here, this is like that perfect time for Kirk Cousins to step up and just completely ball and then turn around to everybody and be like, you like that? Do that whole shtick again. I think this is the week that Kirk Cousins does that so that he can bone everybody in week 16.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Miami is weirdly scrappy. It's not just the Miami Miracle. It's all season. They have done weird ways of winning the whole time. So you don't just it's really rare that teams just run away with it. And I don't see that happening here with the Vikings. The Vikings have had the Vikings are almost the opposite. It's like they can't win no matter what they do. It's pretty amazing what's happening there. So I think Miami, this is a little bit of a sleeper game in terms of production. I'm very intrigued with what we're going to do here. Okay, so hey, BML and Howard, what up? PPR running backs playing McCaffrey need 3 from Aaron Jones, Chris Carson, Philip Lindsay, Justin Jackson, Elijah McGuire, or Gus Edwards. This is someone who took care of their bench and is probably in the playoffs. Guys, this is how you do it. Because we're not going to pick probably the dudes that they just picked up. Well, there's 3, so maybe you'll do Justin Jackson, but we're definitely doing Philip Lindsay and Chris Carson. Those are no-brainers to me, along with Christian McCaffrey. And then we have to decide between Aaron Jones, Justin Jackson, and Elijah McGuire or Gus Edwards. So probably Justin Jackson if we're not going with Aaron Jones. That's close for me, but yeah, that's what we would do. But other than that, guys, there were tons of players here. He didn't have to depend on everybody off of waivers. There was one dude that he added. It's beautiful. Full point PPR needs 3. Chubb, David Johnson. Well, it says D Johnson. I'm hoping you're saying David. Lamar Miller, Sony Michel. I would sit Sony Michel in that group.
Yeah, me too. I would definitely sit him.
I mean, David Johnson disturbs me, but going up against Atlanta, if they don't run him, I give up.
Right. I mean, how do you not run David Johnson against Atlanta? He came back to practice today. He's fine. That's a must start there. It's a must start.
Yeah, I agree. Aaron Rodgers or Mitchell Trubisky?
I've been saying Trubisky because I feel like this is, to me, this feels like, and this is more probably gut feel than anything else, but this is the Bears turning around saying, you're in our house. This is our division now. You are old. You're gone. Our defense is going to bottle you up, Aaron, and we're going to smack you in the mouth. Meanwhile, our new guy here, Mitchell, is going to start throwing some touchdowns left and right. Oh, look, Tariq Cohen, some gimmicky stuff there. Oh, yeah, Allen Robinson. Oh, here's Taylor Gabriel. Oh, Anthony Miller for a 12-yard touchdown pass. Why not? I feel like that's just the kind of game this is going to be. I think this is going to shut up and embarrass a lot of Packers fans.
Yeah. The Bears have been really good all season, and I think that's going to continue. And the Packers have not, and I think that's going to continue. So I think they are who we thought they were. Rank defenses: Falcons, Seattle, or Washington?
Oh,
I think I go Falcons here.
Yeah, this is what I hate about the whole defensive bingo thing, because I play it all the time. Because the Falcons' defense really isn't that good.
No, they're not.
No. I could see them losing this game 28-7.
Yep.
And having David Johnson and the Arizona defense do all the work, and nothing from Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I guess that's just, if you look for the team that makes the most mistakes, it's having the most trouble moving the ball, it would be Arizona.
And we hate ourselves for it. No one's happy.
We kind of do.
I hate myself a little bit, but I am going to say Arizona. Wilson or White, Standard League?
Wilson or White? I'll say this. If Matt Breida is not playing, then I'm going Wilson. Okay. If Matt Breida is playing, I am going with James White.
Great. 1 point PPR, Cohen or Damian Williams? I think I'll Tariq Cohen.
Yeah.
Guys, Tariq Cohen all season. I know we keep saying, maybe this will be the Jordan Howard week. And you know what? It'll be the one time this is. No, I'm kidding. It's always Tariq Cohen. Somehow he always gets in there. I don't know what he does, but it's what he does. Ridley or Pettis, non-PPR? I go Pettis all day, every day. I don't care that Marquise Goodwin's coming back. That chemistry is legit. Look at those 3 last weeks. He's so good.
Yeah, and Goodwin came back last week. Saw 5 targets, but just didn't really do anything.
No. I'm telling you, everyone's like, your waivers this week. But you know what the best waiver wire pickups were at wide receiver position? Adam Humphries and Dante Pettis, and you missed the boat 3 weeks ago. Sorry. Like that. That's what I'm saying. Like that is when you need to make these moves. Anyway, Breida plays. Would you play White over Wilson? We just answered that. Constellation bracket for next year draft order. Yeah, then you have to play it out. Listen, if you do things like that, then you're telling people they should be picking people up and playing out. If you don't want that, then don't make anything important for the constellation bracket. That's our point. If you make it important, then it's important. If you don't make it important, then the people that are in the playoffs should get it. But yeah, that's our point. Bender, this is Brandon from Boston. I got hung up on you. You were answering my question. Did you say Aaron Jones or Damian Williams? You said Damian Williams.
I did say Damian Williams. Sorry, Brendan. Didn't mean to hang up on you. We'll blame Fensty. It was Fensty who did it, not me.
Absolutely. Rodgers or Cousins?
I'm gonna go Cousins here. I'm gonna. This will be my fall on the sword at the end of the week. Or hey, he's been him on the bench has been my ride or die this entire time in week 15. So I'm fading Aaron Rodgers unless you're talking about Lamar Jackson, or if you're talking about Case Keenum, or if you're what's that?
Lamar Jackson. I love that Josh Allen is who everyone thought Lamar Jackson was.
I mean, it's been kind of weird here. Like, I don't think anybody really expected Josh Allen to run as much as he's doing right now. I think this is a surprise to a lot of people, I think.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely it is. But it's just funny because everyone was like, oh, no, man, Lamar Jackson's going to be money because of that solid running floor. But that floor hasn't been there. It's been scoring like 16 points. Well, everyone in this league seems to be scoring 20 fantasy points per game, all the other quarterbacks. So he hasn't even been like in the top 20. There's been weeks where he's in the top 20, but he hasn't been in the top like 10 at all. So it's a little crazy town. Jacksonville or Baltimore defense?
I'm all in on the Ravens defense this week.
I like it.
Yeah, I think Tampa Bay is going to get slapped around in this one, and I don't even think there's going to be much great offense coming out of Baltimore either. Like I was talking about the over under for this game and how it was like 47, and I was like, why is it so high? Like, this is Baltimore's offense. Have we not seen Baltimore's offense? So, and I was like, well, you know what? The defense is probably good for with Jameis Winston under center. I think the Baltimore Ravens defense could be good for like 2 touchdowns this week.
Yeah, I think so too. The other high over under that surprised me was Oakland at Cincinnati. I was like, why is this such a high over under? I was like, which games are we watching? Although I think Carr is an interesting bargain, but anyway.
I do too. But here's the funny thing: like, we're sitting here, it's like that was the big question. It was Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr, and I was like, I mean, I don't know what to do. I know the matchup for Carr is great, but you want to rely on Carr and Jordy Nelson, who supposedly retired a month ago. Seth Roberts, Jared Cook, Doug Martin. That's the offense.
Cook's been getting it done. Jared Cook has been getting it done.
He has been. But then on the other side, it's like Cincinnati. You've got Jeff Driscoll. He sucks. Joe Mixon's fine over there, but Tyler Boyd's not been good since A.J. Green. Like, how is this game the game everybody wants to stack?
It's a weird world in which we live, man. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Other than 46.5 is a very high over-under for those two teams. Very high. I need to start 2 half-point PPR, Tyreek Hill, Tyler Boyd, Dante Pettis, or Kenny Golladay, and I'm saying it's Hill and Pettis for me.
And it's Hill and Pettis for me as well.
Solid.
So nice. See, intelligence-wise, you and I, we're right there. But then we start talking consolation brackets, and this is us.
It's over. Yeah, it's bad news. That's because I have integrity. What is your outlook on...
I'm out of here. That's it. Bye-bye.
Just saying. What is your outlook on Randall Cobb this week? I don't have any outlook on Randall Cobb. I don't know if there's someone I care less about in the National Football League than Randall Cobb.
Really? See, there we go. We disagree. Because I actually do like Randall Cobb. Why? Because Aaron Rodgers is calling the shots and Randall Cobb's his best friend. Like, Devontae Adams is the number 1 target there, but He doesn't throw to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He doesn't throw to Equanimeous St. Brown. He doesn't throw to Jimmy Graham. They're not starting the right running back. So with Bryce Callahan out, he's on IR, that kind of opens up a little bit because Simmons is now being used as the slot corner in this game. Simmons isn't really that good of a cover corner. Randall Cobb's not the be-all, end-all, but if he's going to start seeing targets from Rodgers, it moves the needle for me a little bit.
It does, but I'd rather start Dante Pettis.
Oh, yeah, I'd rather start Dante Pettis also.
Okay. Well,
but, I'm playing in this consolation bracket, and all I've got is Randall Cobb.
All right. Well, that's true because you have a commissioner that paid attention and locked your roster. So I get it. You don't have some lazy dude out there. It's just I don't understand what people just didn't know. What's in the box? I do love what's in the box. Lamar Miller, Damian Williams, Mark Ingram, Marlon Mack have to ditch one.
Have to ditch one?
Yeah. I think I'd ditch Marlon Mack here.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I don't like this matchup against Dallas for him. I think Luck will have to pass the ball a lot more. Yeah, I'm with you.
We're going to leave that one out. Need help, Sutton or Mike Williams?
You're the Sutton whisperer. What do you think?
I think I still might go Mike Williams. Again, the over-under on this game
is Eric Berry!
Right. That's right. I think Mike Williams might have a higher floor, or a higher ceiling, I should say. And I think that Sutton Foster has a higher floor. It doesn't say PPR or non. But for me, if you need that dart throw, like the big play, it's Mike Williams. If this is for solid, it's got to be Sutton. But I think Mike Williams has a higher upside. Sony Michel or Elijah McGuire? We go McGuire, right? Unless we hear that somehow Isaiah Crowell has done some sort of stem cell or whatever, or I don't know. That seems to be the way that everyone repairs themselves. Did you see that thing on Ryan Tannehill? He has stem cells in another place that he can go and replenish himself. Good for you, Ryan Tannehill.
Well, that's how you build that money. That's how you build a Shakey's pizza too.
There stem you go. Cells. I love it. Flex, DJ Moore, Kirkwood, or Pettis?
Pettis.
Yeah, it's Pettis for me. Then it's more than it's Kirkwood. 1 point PPR, Damian Williams or Justin Jackson? I feel like we've already answered this. We might as well just keep answering it. That's all we're doing.
Right. Justin Jackson for me.
Love it. Full point PPR, Brait or Njoku?
Ooh. I mean, on paper, Njoku's got the better matchup, but the targets aren't consistent. Now, if they do continue to ghost Antonio Callaway because of that fumble at the 1 yard line, maybe Njoku picks up some extra targets there at all. I mean, Brait's he's the red zone guy. I just worry about the matchup there for him against the Ravens. And I know the Ravens haven't been great against the tight end, but they're also not giving up a ton of fantasy points. They do. This is you're better in reality than in fantasy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Absolutely. Also, the problem with the Baltimore Ravens is that they may get. It's interesting to me because I think Tampa Bay is still going to be able to move the ball, even though I think Baltimore will get a lot of turnovers. So it negatively affects Jameis, but not really Brait. Brait also had a horrible matchup last week and scored 2 touchdowns. He's the only person to score a touchdown against the Saints from the tight end position other than Mark Andrews this year. Only one other person had done it. So it's fascinating to me, which also is why I do not like Ian Thomas right now. I know he's the hot name on campus, but those Saints are actually, it's the one thing that they're really good at shutting down is the tight end. Only Cameron Brait, and it's because he always gets red zone targets. I mean, that's the thing. So I think I might go Brait here and hope that he gets a touchdown with the fear that Njoku just gets, for whatever reason, not the love because they spread it around so much. We talked about it last week too. They have the same amount, they are tied for the most wide receivers with 2 touchdowns or more in the National Football League, and they all had 2. It was pretty bad. Now a couple of them are more, but anyway. Full point PPR, Fournette or Aaron Jones? Oh,
Fournette.
I got eliminated because of Fournette last week, but I'm gonna
because he put up the old dud. So he knocked you to the consolation bracket, or were you in the consolation bracket?
No, I was in the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm knocked out now. Full point PPR: Rudolph or Everett? This is where we are in life.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean Rudolph here, just because there are just so many mouths to feed for LA. So many mouths to feed.
So many mouths to feed.
Like I've had to tell people to like sit Reynolds, and I'm like, I like him, but
of course, but. Hello. I think here's my only thing I would say about this is that if you get killed by the games on Thursday and Saturday, and remind everybody, actually, that's a really good idea. The Saturday games are a big deal, everybody. There are 2 of them. So if you come into Sunday morning, you may ask us that question again, and we may say Everett for more upside. I think there's a possibility of that. But I still think that for me, for steadiness, I'm going to go with Rudolph. Would you go Aaron Rodgers or Trubisky? We went Trubisky. PPR, would you start Damian Williams and James White over Tevin Coleman?
No, I don't think I would. I think that I would start Tevin Coleman over James White. I mean, I know James White, gets some decent work and everything, but again, this is what we've seen over the past couple of weeks from the Patriots, and it's really been kind of up in the air here. And I just, we're back to not being able to trust it. Let's not forget stupid Rex Burkhead's back. Like, we're all cursing James Devlin for these goal line touches, but Burkhead's back too. So, I mean, this is just ugliness.
It's just total ugliness. You guys, we're going to get to a couple more of your questions here, but I just want to say that if you want to play with us at the Fantasy Alarm crew, you can go to Fantasy Factor. It's 100% single entry. Whoop, whoop. No sharks, just fun. If you own the Playbook Pro, we actually have support for them in our tools so that we can help you create those winning lineups. So come play with us and have some fun. It's fantasyalarm.com/factor contest. Again, it's fantasyalarm.com/factor contest. Also, if you want to learn more about college bowl games, which by the way, this is the time to start looking at those rookies, everybody. Go check it out. Watch the college preview show with Howard Bender and Craig Mish. Every game is analyzed. Go to fantasyalarm.com/bowl preview. They play with us in the Fantasy Alarm College Bowl Game Challenge. Again, it's fantasyalarm.com/bowl game, giving away $1,000 in prizes, including $200 for the person who selects the most games correctly. So again, fantasyalarm.com/bowl game. It's going to be really fun.
It's going to be really fun. We got a lot of people already entered in there, so it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, so you can play with us twice, guys. Guys, again, fantasyalarm.com/factor contest and fantasyalarm.com/bowl game. All right. 1 PPR, because this is easy. It's Pettis again, but we'll go with Dante Pettis, Jordy Nelson, Demaryius Thomas, Chris Conley, Curtis Samuel.
Hello, Dante Pettis. How are you?
Who's your second place person, just so we help with the people?
My second person in there. Run through the names again real quick.
Jordy Nelson, Demaryius Thomas, Chris Conley, Curtis Samuel.
I guess I'd probably go Conley. No, you know what? I'll take it back. I'm going Jordy Nelson. Dude's seen like 22 targets in the last 2 games.
That's true. I agree with that. No, I agree. Cincinnati is right. Full point PPR need to flex. Wear out. The options are Jared Cook, Allen Robinson, and Marlon Mack. But Elijah McGuire is on the wire. What do you think?
I almost want to just say Jared Cook.
I know. And in full point PPR, it's not a bad option.
The way he's been leaned on all year long here, yeah. I'm going to say Jared Cook going up against Cincinnati. Cincinnati ranked 16th in the league against the tight end, but they're giving up like 50-odd yards to the position. So I would do that. Jared Cook gets leaned on more heavily as like a receiver than he is really a tight end.
Agreed. Allen Robinson, Dante Pettis, or Adam Humphries. You can only have one in a PPR league. Humphries?
Yeah, I'd probably go. Oh, Humphries? No. I'm not trusting Tampa anymore. Not this week. Not against. Okay. Not against the Ravens. I'm leaning Pettis here, but I should probably go with A-Rob. But I'm going to say Pettis.
Yeah. Need 4 of these 8. We're not going to do that one. But especially because you have Todd Gurley and Phillip Lindsay in here. You know that those are the ones you want. And then you got Williams will pick that one. And I'm just going to pick for you. And we'll go with Jalen Samuels if it ends up being he's the guy. Standard League. Have Gurley and Chubb as running backs with Lindsay in my flex. I have Fournette on my bench. Would you start Fournette over any of them? No.
Over Gurley, Chubb, or who?
Phillip Lindsay. No. Would you do Newton or Dak this week?
Dak.
Okay. 1 point PPR. Aaron Jones in my flex. Would you start Jackson, Humphreys, or Edelman instead?
Yeah, Jackson.
Yeah, I like it. Full point PPR for flex. Lamar Miller, James Conner, Damian Williams, DJ Moore. Thank you. I think it's Miller. If Conner is the starter, I would go with him. But
I don't think Connor's going to get much work here. I'd go Lamar Miller.
Yeah, I agree. Need 2 of the following: Aaron Jones, Justin Jackson, Damian Williams, or Jeffrey Wilson.
Jackson and Williams.
There you go. PPR, Ertz or Gronk. Whew.
Oh, I got to tell you, I really like Gronk this week. I really do. I don't know how, it's tough to sit Ertz, but it is Nick Foles.
It's really scary, guys. I do hashtag tight end trauma 2018, and it's just PPR, Sutton, Godwin, or Demaryius Thomas.
I'll go Sutton here.
Yeah, I think I would too. Hey guys, do I play Justin Jackson over Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, or Alvin Kamara? Half point PPR. We'd put him over Jones.
Yeah, no. I'd put Kamara on the bench. Kamara and Chubb on the bench because those guys suck.
Yeah, I agree. Damian Williams, Doug Martin, Justin Jackson, Gus Edwards, pick 2. We're going Damian Williams and Justin Jackson, right? Leaving Doug Martin and Gus Edwards on the bench.
Yeah, I like Doug Martin. He just doesn't have enough upside for more than 50 yards.
Yeah, and then poor Jalen Richard has done all this work and has yet to score a touchdown on the ground or the air, which is unbelievable. Over 100 touches. Unreal. Okay, I love your show, Howard. Woo-woo! You helped me win my championship last year. I'm in the finals again this weekend. Running backs have suffered. I need 3. Full point PPR. Lindsey, Cohen, Wilson, Samuels, Jackson.
Lindsey, Cohen, and Jackson for me.
Yeah. We're on the same page. Just curious, I noticed at the bottom of your live stream, Aaron Jones or Justin Jackson. We said Justin Jackson. What's your outlook on rookie running backs for tonight? Or what? Okay, Williams or Jackson. We already talked about that. Just for the record, rewards for getting into the playoffs and the seeding. Case is closed. Tell him, Brandon. That's right. Again, don't offer rewards for this if you don't want people to play. Matt Ryan or Josh Allen?
Damn, I think I'd go Josh Allen here. No. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'd probably go Josh Allen here and just try and get the rushing yards. I feel like that just gives him a higher floor than Matt Ryan, who could throw up one of those 215 with a touchdown and 2 interceptions, even though it's Arizona. But, yeah, I worry about that one.
Need 1 running back, 1 flex. White, Martin, Michelle, Mack, Edwards.
White, Martin, Mack, Michelle, or Edwards?
All the M's, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I'd try Gus Edwards here. I don't love
they
it.
Need 1 running back and 1 flex. So we go Edwards and
White?
Yeah, I think so. Damian Williams, Sony Michelle, Tyler Boyd, Tevin Coleman need 2 in a PPR league. It's going to be Williams for sure, but what about Michelle, Coleman, and Boyd?
I'll go Coleman here.
Yeah, it's pretty ugly. I mean, I don't really feel... I don't feel good. I'm like, oh, God. All right. We already said that we're considering Josh Allen over Aaron Rodgers, so we'll just repeat that. But Bears defense or Vikings defense? I have Rodgers, Adams, and Jones. Sorry. I love these questions. They're like, I can't do it because it's so not making sense in my brain. But I don't know if I want the Vikings versus Miami either.
I wouldn't. I mean, I would do the Vikings. I would do the Vikings over. Like, if you've got 3 Packers on your team, like if you're starting 3 Packers, then putting the Bears defense in there is just
can't do it.
Yeah,
you really should.
Tempted fate. You're tempted fate. You're like, hey, fantasy gods, could you just screw me over one last time this year, please?
Really
please.
Bad. DJ Moore, Dante Pettis, or Kenny Golladay? We go Pettis, right?
Yes, we do.
All right, and there's no love for Kenneth Dixon this week? I don't know.
I didn't say there's no love, but...
It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you have nobody else...
Here's my thing about it. if you're in the championship right now, I just don't think I can put Kenneth Dixon out there. That's all I'm saying. If you're playing for the marbles, it's hard for me to be like, I trust that guy.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Kenneth Dixon's a perfect consolation bracket play.
Absolutely. And since I'm talking about those, we will give you props for your Kenneth Dixon consolation.
Brandon started Kenneth Dixon in every consolation bracket game she's playing in right now.
All right, only one more question here. They're going to the ship. It's Winston, Eli, or Driscoll. Ow! How is this? Guys, late round quarterback, it works. Listen to this guy.
How is this team going to the ship? Winston, Eli, or Driscoll? I'm going to go with Eli.
Look at you. I love it. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We adore you. You had tons of questions. We tried to get to almost all of them, actually. I think we only missed like a handful. So we did it because we went over a little bit, but we love you. Go get it, you guys. Bye-bye.